We are still watching This Morning on ITV, bringing us to our first talking point where we'll be looking at the position of the Federal High Court declaring bandits as terrorists. Of course, those declared Enter Ada and Mbindiga and many others, who are parading themselves as bandits. The activities is now null and void, it's now illegal, and means that if they are arrested, well, the treatment will be that of a terrorist. And to do this, I have with me a security expert, Jonathan Isaac. I will be looking at this in some couple of minutes. A very good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, so the declaration of bandits, Enter Ada and Mbindiga, that's the name that we know for now. There are many other names that we may not know. There are those that are nameless, they, have camps in bushes and, unleash pain on people. So what do you think about that?
Well, to me, the declaration is just formalities. And it does not change any stance at the moment. Declaring them as terrorists have no impact, has no effect on their fight. Neither does it have any effect as to whether they are going to surrender or not. Declaring them as terrorists is just to what the CBN will do, name and shame, just to name them and to shame them. But they themselves have declared themselves as terrorists even for the past 13 years. With their actions, with whatever they've been doing, they have made Nigerians to understand that they are terrorists because they have executed all terrorist-related activities. So it is just it's awakening for the Federal High Court to come up with this judgment. But to Nigerians, it is not what they are looking for at the moment. Initially, when Nigerians do not understand the kind of attacks they are coming up with, they said, oh, these people are acting like terrorists, you have to name them, call them the way they are, not like, romancing the names and all of that. So, you see, even Mr. President himself did not have the strong political will to have named them the way they are. They keep branding them with names. Today they are bandits, today they are unknown gunmen, tomorrow they are Boko Haram and all of that. But these people that you are calling all these names are executing all the characteristics of a terrorist. So to Nigerians, they are already terrorists known to them for the past 13 years. But then, the pronouncement is, to me, giving the military some stance to act beyond what they have been doing. You understand me? It's going to be a motivation for the military. But then, when you now arrest, apprehend the terrorists, they will then follow the process. I hope they're not going to come back with the same ideas of their repentance and all of that, and they have to go back, rehabilitating them and all of this. So if that starts happening again, the military will be demoralized because they're supposed to be served what a terrorist deserves. But when they now capture them and they go outside the will of the military and start rehabilitating them, start treating them like they are repentant and all of that, it will go back to what they used to be. So to me, it's a motivating factor to the military, but for Nigerians, other Nigerians that are feeling the heat of this insurgency and all of that, like in Katsina, in Niger, in Benue, in Sokoto, in Zamfara, and all of that. Zamfara, in fact, is the headquarters of all of these things. So when you check all these people going through these things, the pronouncement is just a mere pronouncement to them. They want to see it in action, how this name will motivate the military to act more. That's the only thing. If not for we Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, the name is just a branding that have already been in place.
So are you saying the prescription is rather late?
Yes, of course it's late. It's late because you see, when something have lasted for too long, it becomes a policy. It becomes a culture. You understand me? Even though it is wrong, it now becomes a culture. So when these people were coming on early, if they have seen, and like we have always advocated, you see, when you now analyze the kind of activities and the way they act, the way they treat people, you should not know that their character is terrorist-related wise. So that is where you should have at least come with these things, and maybe they would have seek for international assistance. Now, people comes in and try to help. The international communities will come and help and fight this whole thing. But we're not trying to romance it that it's a local-made kind of thing, and we're trying to see how we can manage it. So now we have lost trust. We have even lost trust in the international community. When we now go seek for the assistance that we want to fight terrorists in our country because we have this and that in our country, they will look at us and look, we are the cause of our problems. So to me, it is rather late. But then.
But is it not better late than never?
But well, it's better late than never, but it's on instances. I felt that we should have been more proactive than coming in this reactive manner. That's where I see it. Because look at the time of IBB, when Anini and all of that was disturbing. He said, "Come, I need Anini in 2 weeks, dead or alive." That was his order. Anini was brought to him. So we need people. Strong people like that who can still come up with this decision and not go back to sleep and all of that to snore. Because they have given you a mandate. I need Anini in 2 weeks. It is either you bring Anini or you resign. But there was no strong political will because we have politicized our military, we have politicized our policing system in this country for more than 10 years now. The system of our internal policing has been politicized. So there is no strong will that I know what you have done in the past. I know how we came together and do certain things. So when I am wrong and you give an open order to me, and that's the kind of a thing that is going on. And there is nobody that will come up and said, we want to change the system. When you know that you have equally corrupt the system. So it is crime fighting them. You see, when we're talking about all of these things, terrorism, Boko Haram and all of that we used to call, what is it? It is inaction and action. It is just it's a kind of what we have done that is playing back now. So it's not like we don't know what happened. To me, the name is irrelevant here. What we need is how to stop the
okay, how to stop the whole system. From other sources, it is believed that it is the U.S. that made it possible. They made it possible in the sense that the supply of the Tucano jets, there was an agreement signed between Nigeria and the U.S., which means that if those military hardware are supplied that are supposed to be used for specific operations,
yes,
like crushing of bandits. You understand? But you cannot crush bandits if you have not prescribed them as terrorists. And which is why that move was seen, and an expertise was raised by the Director of Public Prosecution, Mohammed Abakar, in the office of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. So now the question is, could it be that if we do not have that intervention from the U.S., they will still be parading themselves without stringent measures to disseminate them?
You see, it's very unfortunate for even the military to have come up with this before they'll be able to act. Are you me? We have already we've had you're in this country where you see so many camps of the insurgents were bombed and all of that. They say they have thrown them, they have done this and they have done that. We're in this country. So why didn't they go to court to get this order before this operation? So we should not create excuses for our lacuna. We should not make things look as if because this was not done is the reason why we are not being able to act. Look, in Adamawa, we knew how the military jets went there and crushed some persons, innocent people. And they said, sorry, we thought it was a military camp. People that were like saying, no, we cannot tolerate these people who have been doing this to us. These people have been terrorizing our territory. You want us to accommodate them? And they went there, crushed them, and they said, no, we thought it were the Boko Haram that were hiding there. So look, the Tucano jet cannot do it all. That's the truth. Now they have prescribed them. So act. That will be the next thing that will demand. So this was an excuse. Act, let's see.
No, it was not an excuse.
It's an excuse.
It's not. Even the U.S. Congress is worried. You know, when they sell military hardware to you, there is an agreement on how you are going to use it.
Agreed.
If it is not being deployed for that purpose, it's a breach. And they expected that, though these guys terrorizing northwest, northeast, you have the equipment to take them out. Why are you not taking them out? That was, one of the reasons why we had to go to court. Federal government had to go to court and, secure an order proscribing them as terrorists.
Well, I have said it just minutes ago that, look, they have been proscribed as terrorists.
So it means the military should now.
No, so we not expect
those hardware into
use. But like I'm telling you, that the Tucano jet cannot just do it all. Are you hearing me? What sort of insurgency? I'm sorry. What sort of terrorists do we have in this country now? There are terrorists that live within.
Others are in camp.
There are terrorists that their operation is organized. Do you understand me? It's just like court boys in school. They live within the campus, but they know when to go out of the campus, go off campus to go and operate and come back. So their operation is in and out. So you cannot tell them that this is where they camp. They are camping there because of the captives. When they have people adopted for a reason, they will keep those people there and ensure that these people are there for that period. But once your operation is over, they are going to revert back and return back to camp to normal. So the place they stay is within the local community. They have their informants within the local community. They stay within. They know everything within about the community, and that is why they can easily come with about 100 motorcycles, operate within a region, and go back.
So you are saying if military or other security agents know these informants and where they are hiding,
it's to use local intelligence to pick them up first. Are you in me? Use local intelligence to pick those guys up within the society. Otherwise, you will be killing both victims and suspects. Are you in me? Some people don't even understand.
So do we have local intelligence?
Now that is where I have equal. That's one of my recommendations. That look, it is now time for Mr. President to consult widely and bring local stakeholders. Are you in me? Now, like I have equally said, and I've always said, it is also time Mr. President should consider there should be a massive a form of bringing the youth into the system to find local solutions. We need local solutions to the issue because what we are having is a local problem. It is because of our inability to manage the local problems and also to see a means to mitigate those challenges that have made it to escalate into what we are having as national problem today. So when you now start bringing the local stakeholders in, engaging them time to time, and understanding that it is equally time for Mr. President to do massive employment of the youth to augment our local intelligence. And I've always said the youth employment is one of the most things Mr. President has to look into. Look at the means to augment the intelligence current on of our armed forces, because of the truth, they are overwhelmed. They have given it to the military to fight. Our closure of the border for 16 months was unable to still stop the inflows of weapons into this country. So when you have untrained soldiers, untrained militias fighting our armed men, killing generals, killing DPOs, killing commissioners, then you should know something is wrong. So not until we consult widely with the local stakeholders, we will end up using our Tucano jet to kill our own brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but should not be left for state governors and chairman.
No. Like when I said that Mr. President should consult widely, it's the man on top. Otherwise, the center cannot hold again. Are you in me? It should, like what we did in the National Confab, what he should do is to invite the local stakeholders. He himself should not give it to the governors anymore, because even the governors are overwhelmed. But then, if it's going to give it to the governors, it should be a strict order. It should be an explicit order. This is what I want, and he's going to get it. The local government chairman, like I said, the local stakeholders. There are chairmen in this country that are performing handsomely. You see chairmen putting security measures in their various states, in their various local government. And I'm sorry to say this on national TV, but I must compliment people like Honorable George Ali, who felt that not until security of a local government is guaranteed, there is nothing that can work within the local government. Are you hearing me? So until security are put in place, then you see some economic activities coming and boosting around the town. No matter how it is, we know that our security, the insecurity in this country, which is a problem, has affected our economic growth. And undeniably, it has crippled the system. And that is why we keep borrowing, and we keep borrowing, we keep going until we start going and sorrowing. So to me, this is the best time, Mr. President. What else has he not done that has not failed him? What else has he not done that has not failed him apart from what I have just said? Number one, shoot on sight order. Is that not to tell you that these people are already branded as terrorists? How do you shoot someone?
If you see anyone with
arm, shoot.
But they're
illegal weapons.
But they're not seen.
Are we seeing that coming to pass? Number two, change the service chiefs. How effective has that been to the system?
Yeah, but they have overstayed.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That these are things that Nigerians keep clamoring for. But I am telling you that all they clamor for has no effect to the fight on ground.
No, with the changes, we have seen that Boko Haram fighters surrendered in their numbers.
No, even before now, Boko Haram surrendered.
But we didn't have this record, this number.
Well,
we didn't have this number. So huge.
See, let me tell you something.
14,000 of them.
The reason for this surrendering.
14,000.
The reason for this surrendering, like you have known. A man who has paraded himself around the city, called himself a god, where Mr. President cannot order his arrest, or our so-called militaries and paramilitary cannot even question his utterances. I'm talking about the Kugumi of this world.
No.
People like that have paraded themselves in city centers, telling Nigerians that they are all and all, and nothing has happened.
Mr. Noda,
So,
let's leave Gumi out of this.
Well, it's to your choice.
No, let's leave him.
It's to your choice.
We have security, personnel. Mr. President, of course, is CNC. He still give order to Army, Navy, Air Force, even the IG of police, and other paramilitaries to. This is what I want, and they say carry out.
No, this is. I'm not seeing the order, Mr. President, coming to pass. No.
So we have to call some names here. It may not really help the discussion.
Well,
it is how we can have Nigeria's security tight in such a way people can, return back to the old days of traveling, irrespective of the time of the night or time of the day. And like you also know, yesterday one of the kingpin, terrorizing the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway has been taken out, which means that to an extent, the security guys are doing their job, right?
They are doing their job.
But how can we ensure that what we are seeing presently is sustained?
Well, even what we are seeing presently, I don't, as a person, pray that it should be sustained, because there's no success so well delivered that I can see that I can say let it be sustained. Are you in me? It was not just yesterday. Our correctional centers, regardless of the numbers of security operatives present at correctional centers, was boggled.
Yeah, and the guys were held there.
I know, I agree, but now
the guys were held there. Why? Because there was a call to sister organizations to come, and they responded almost immediately. So it means that we now have the wherewithal to respond to emergencies.
So should we sustain such?
The sustenance should be, if there are causes of this nature, security personnel should respond.
I felt that we should sustain it when at the point of entrance repaired. This is when we can sustain such. But once an entrance is gained into a particular facility, we shouldn't sustain such success, no matter what it is, because there are going to be victims and suspects. Now, I tell you, there are inmates that must have escaped through the process. There are 1 or 2 persons that must have sustained injury in the process. So we don't expect to sustain this kind of you know, give and take kind of.
If we have
issues.
been having prison break in Cotton Karfe, in Warri,
Yes.
in Benin, in Imo, and many other states, and they just come, boggle the place, emit, you know,
Freed.
freed,
To their,
you
their
know,
way.
and we have the one that they came, break through, and couldn't come out. Is it not? Are we not making? Are we not making?
Some have
Are we not
actually
making
escaped
progress?
the process. Some have escaped, while some were trapped.
The issue, even if one person is trapped,
So what we are saying is that,
that not a progress?
we shouldn't know. That's not a progress. Yeah. It is. It was just an unfortunate circumstance that they find themselves. Then this thing could happen. So what? It's an operation that has failed somehow. Just like the same way the guys there equally failed. Our military guys failed for them to have even gained access into the place. So what I'm trying to say is that we should sustain the best. We should sustain the best where they are going to be repaired from assets. Then give a call to sister agencies to give support. This emergency call can be given to anybody, but not until they gain access into gain entrance into the facility, do what they want to do, and in the process, one or two persons found run out of them, and they said, "Oh, our militaries are trying." So what we want is a situation where all the checkpoints to this place, these guys are be able to be tracked down and say, where are you going to? They notice that there's an intelligence that behind. They say, oh, come on, where are you going to? And they stop them from that. At least with that, they'll be able to, people will not say, yes, they intercepted them. These guys trapped them. They were unable to get to their
but we have seen records of many of them arrested at checkpoints.
I agree. I'm not saying that it's all the operation that the military are
but the point you are driving at is that it should be it should be seamless. People, there shouldn't be casualty. They shouldn't get access into the building or facility in the first place.
Yes.
But how can that be possible when even the security agents are compromised?
Well, you see, it all goes to the system that we practice. You see, a soldier in the war front for the past 10, 20 years, for the past 10 months has not been changed. There's no change of formations. The soldiers are still within the Zamfara Axis and all of that. Whereas this is supposed to be a rotational change that's supposed to change your guards. At least there should be a change of guards. If it's not 6 months, 8 months, you should be able to change so that they don't get familiarized, they don't get familiar with the environment and become so like gods of the environment.
Yeah, but if you now bring those that don't even know the environment, and
it's already a practice in the system,
and you know they are taken unawares.
It's already a practice in the system. It's for that reason you are trained. It's for that reason you are trained. You don't need to tell a sniper when he comes to this place and he wants to take you off, to tell the particular place he's going to stay to take you off. No. He knows his job. Once he comes around, he checks and look at how he's going to get this place, get you out of this place. So he knows where to climb, he knows where to stay, and get you out. So you don't need, that is the reason why they are trained. And if the training is not enough, they should go for a refresher course. They should go back to training. So I am seeing that our military has been compromised. That's the truth. And it has never been this way. It has never been this way. You see, today you go to military checkpoints, you see the way our soldiers are being, you know, they have compromised the system because that is not the way they were trained. The initial times when I was saying that Mr. President and our Chief of Army Staff should know that it is time for them to return back to the border so that our police can take over the internal policing of the state. They were not understanding what I'm talking about. Because this guy stays around, get to know about the system, get to know about the environment. Even some of them get married to them. Some of them start to get, you know, they don't know what to do.
They are humans.
And before you know, they even help the insurgents. They help them. We've seen countless times where soldiers are even arrested alongside with some terrorist operations within some the northeast and all of that. Why? Because they came to state so much that the threats they face make them to surrender. So they have surrendered, but still in the service. They have surrendered to the insurgents, but they are still in the military. Why are they in the military? To receive information for their bosses, their new bosses. So, but if I did not stay long, look, a general giving a testimony some time ago, and he said, look, When they brought him to a particular region, he said, oh, everybody, the guys, hey, get me your phones, and they surrendered the phones. And he took the phones inside, and they say, hey, guys, we are going to go on an operation. But because they don't understand where the operation is going to be, they are still calculating what this man is going to do. The man collected their mobile phones and took it inside. In a gap of 20 minutes, he received calls from bandits on soldiers' phones. He received calls from bandits on soldiers' phones. Well, I shouldn't have said this on national television, but this is to tell you that the extent in which they have compromised is to tell that some of these guys are directly working for the bandits while in civil service.
So how often should they be changed now?
To me, even if you bring a goat here today, it will not take him 1 hour before he starts chewing grasses. You understand me? So once the grasses are available, he chews them. So you see, when you bring a corrupt soldier to this place, it does not even take, even if it's 2-3 months, he's going to stay here. You ensure that 2-3 months is going to be here for the people. But then it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So with this constant change of guards from different regions and zones, you see that our militaries will at least start standing and understand that there's a change in the system. But when you allow them to overstay in a particular region, they become too acclimatized to society. They take everything for granted, and it's for that reason they are easily killed. Any day they did not build to what they want to do, they kill them easily.
But have you followed the current trend now where terrorists, kidnappers, even go ahead to kidnap those in uniform, security personnel, and demand for ransom?
Yes.
And despite the fact that we have phone numbers linked to NIN, and which means anybody using phone in Nigeria can be traced.
Unfortunately, it is saddening when I mentioned earlier that Mr. President's agendas for or strategies to fight terrorism in this country has failed. And when I say that, I have my reasons. One, I mentioned earlier, shoot on sight. Other, failed. You just mentioned the name issues, which means that when they disturb Nigerians over these names and all of that, should be that when anybody have a phone calls or anything, we should be able to trace them. Failed. There were times they came up to shut down networks around different regions. That failed. So you see that these strategies are failing. They are failing because they are not put to use at the right time. You want to shut down network today, you come and announce to the whole world. When these guys have gone to equip themselves to use geofencing and sat phones to do communications and they raid themselves, and you want to shut down networks, you come to. So it's not about tracing the bandits anymore. It's not about tracing the terrorists anymore. Why am I saying it's not about tracing the terrorists anymore? They knew where they are. They already knew where they are. Are we not seeing some men there? Some men, which you say we should not mention, go to the forest and snap with them? Why not pick that man to go and show you where they are? Are we truly looking for terrorists? We are not. If we are looking for them, some persons know where they are. They have shown that capacity that they are now their mouthpiece. They speak for them. They advocate for them. And some even say that even branding them terrorists have nothing to do. I mean, you see, these are people that are daring the government. And we say we should not mention them, we should leave them, we should just allow them to romance the system the way they want. This is where I want Mr. President to say, hey, come, take me to this place there. It will not take him any stress. It will not make any stress that just to order this to the General Police and I say by Monday, get me this man. And you this man, take them to where they are. But unfortunately, we still see some escort, uniformed men, give this man escorts even down to the forests. And so what are we looking for? We know where they are.
He doesn't know where they are. He went in search of them.
Well, he went in search of them.
That's what we are told. So you cannot say he knows them. He went
in search of them.
In search of them.
The same place
in the bush for many days.
I agree with you. Since you cannot be kidnapped.
And you can also do it.
Well, I felt every uniformed organizations or our security could equally do that better. So the intelligence he has to search this thing, maybe in the next fight, he should equally join our military to show them the way. Since he knows much, if he knows much, he should equally join the DSS so he can help to give them information. But his utterances are not in that direction.
In the coming days, are you expecting the Tucanos to be put into use?
Well, I don't expect the Tucano to be put into use when Tucano can be put into use for clearance operations. But then there are much to be done, i.e. me, on ground before going on air.
Yeah, but the ones on ground there are many challenges.
So if there are so many challenges, the ones to do on land, rather not on ground, on land, will you not, because of that numerous challenges, go up and start killing your innocent brothers and sisters? So you need to do much while on land before you go on air, because the fight we are not having the insurgents, or we're not having the terrorists fighting us using the aircraft. We are not having them. That insurgents went to a particular place and just bombed the whole place and all of that. No, we are having them on land. So what you have tried to tell us now, what you are trying to tell us that you are afraid to fight them combatantly. And since
when they are faceless.
Well, some of them are no longer faceless. If they are faceless, they won't have killed some leaders along the Abuja-Kaduna road. If you don't know them, you won't kill them. And if you don't know them, you will not even know that they are leaders. So they know them. It does not give them excuses that they don't know them. They know them. You know, your opening statement is that they killed so person as leader. So who killed them? It's not the military. So if you don't know them, how do you kill them?
Police killed them.
So they know them. So to me, we should understand that there are much more while on land. Let's open a wide consultations and with local stakeholders. With that, I believe that these local stakeholders, talking about the chairman, the local government chairman, councillors in different wards, coming together and saying, hey, this man, I know him, it's like this. The local government comes on and say, hey, this person, I know him. These are the people that can give you details of even the state more than the governor. The governor stays in the state house. What does he know? In the government house. But then this local
he knows a lot.
This local government chairman have more information than what he has. Because the information he's looking for, he sees them from the local governments. So he's not as if it is at the city centers everything happens. No, he gets this information from this local government chairman, and from there, this local government chairman feed him back. This is what is happening. So let them bring those people into the discussions and see how they can equally be motivated and be supported financially to come up with.
They should bring terrorists into the discussion.
No, not to bring local government chairman are not terrorists. I don't think. I
just asked. I thought you were saying terrorists should be brought into the discussion.
No, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Why will you bring him into the discussion? To do what? He has nothing to do. What we need is to crush him, crush them. But we want the local government chairman to be brought to come up with something so that we can equally have a direction. And like I told you, so local government chairmen are already putting that standard into play. So we want something that they can equally come to the national level, advise Mr. President, this is a roundtable discussion, let us have it. The 774 local government chairmen should come up. We should have the 774 local government tell us the challenges and how can we, because the fight we talk about is not just about at the Federal Capital Territory. No, it's not about Zamfara. Zamfara has its own local government. By the time the local government chairman comes on board and says this is what is happening, you'll be amazed that even the governors have no intelligence enough. So it is time for us to consult widely with local.
Have you considered increasing the number of security personnel?
Well, the numbers of security personnel we have, to me, is enough. Is enough to fight these challenges. Because I'm telling you, how many are we, and how many terrorists have we killed, and how many have surrendered? Do this plus and minus, you realize that the numbers of the terrorists in quote are not enough, are not even up to the numbers of the police we have. Then are you going to tell us all Nigerians are terrorists? No. It is few individuals. In fact, the terrorists...
Yes, the big problem is that they are faceless.
Let me tell you something.
If they are tagged, if they have a particular color, if they drive in a particular vehicle, then you know that even Boys Brigade can even tackle them.
But then we have had them head to head in combat, in the battle. Have you not had...
When you are taken unawares?
Well, to me, any military or paramilitary should not come up with the word unaware. Why did I make such statement? At every time, you should be what? At alert. So you should expect anything at any time. Expect anything at any time. That's a training. So if you say you are taken unaware, then you're never prepared to work. Because the reason for your existence there is to say that something like this is coming up. That's why you are there. So if you are going to the battlefield and you are saying you're only there because then you say you are taken unaware, you were never prepared for the battle.
Discussion actually has been with security expert Jonathan Onoja. We're looking at the declaration of bandit as terrorists. So let's take your concluding words on this. In the coming days, what are we supposed to be expecting since these guys have been proscribed?
Well, I expect nothing but the best from the military. It is time for Mr. President to take decisive actions that will support the military. And like I initially stated, I said it is time for Mr. President also to recruit the youth into some uniform organizations to augment our intelligence service. Otherwise, we fear that it is the available youth in the society unemployed that these people take advantage of for us to use them as their informants. But if these youths are engaged in other ventures, I fear that there will be a kind of, this menace will be at least put to an end. So to me, the military also, they need to double their actions because they have no reason to fail. They have no reason for it. They don't have any excuse for Nigerians anymore because they have been branded terrorists. So what we have now is a war. And if we are going to fight this war, then I believe that it is going to be with the support of all Nigerians to fight this war. We need to equally go to the society, we need to go to the local environment where the natives are concentrated to equally find, to get our intelligence, how they get their informants and all of that, and who are the informants, because once those informants are taken off from the society, they'll have a break in their communication gap. And once there's a communication gap, then we now know that their operation will not be coordinated as they used to be again. Once there's no coordinated operation, that we can have
many thanks, Jonathan Onoja, security expert, for your time with us on the program this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers, that's the size of this discussion segment. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at other issues.